Hi and welcome back to another Rust base build. Now if you didn't know, we're running a competition for the Winter Bow. All you have to do is comment below. The winners for the rugs have already been chosen. Check your comments and notifications on YouTube to claim your prize. As always, if this is the type of bases you like to see, leave a like to give me sort of a gauge of to continue doing these types of bases or move on to other ones. Using a footprint that I've used quite a lot in the past, I tried to do a base which didn't require any HQM. Anyone who watches the channel knows I hate using HQM for bases. That should really be used for guns and progress in the actual game. Now at 15k stone and 5k metal frags, you do get quite a lot of bang for buck here. Bear in mind with this though, your TC is going to be in the second floor, but when I show you how to do the starter base and how to build it up in stages, it's actually quite easy to get it up there. Now as you come in, standard airlock, then you move into a loot room, which is just for dropping off all your crap. There's plenty of space in here. You could probably get more in if you add drop boxes, etc. This is just literally for your junk. Now as you come through here, you'll see I've got a level 3 workbench in place. That's just to demonstrate that it can be put there. You may want to do this differently. You may put your level 2 where the level 3 is and use that area for a locker instead. As you come in here, we have a jump up area which is very important. I'll explain why in a second. Shotgun trap there is to kind of elude from the fact that the hidden loot room is below this jump up. Now a lot of people use jump ups to get to the second floor, but under our jump up is the hidden loot room. Now unless someone rockets in from the back, they're not going to find us straight away, and unless they know about this trick, they're not going to know about it. So chances are they're going to go straight upstairs, go for the TC and the other two loot areas, and this area should be fine. Just bear in mind, you have to code lock the boxes. If you don't code lock them, they're going to get the loot if they do know this trick. This was also patched a little, but I found a way around it. So it works 100% of the time, so make sure you watch the build to understand how to do it properly. It can be quite tricky, but once you see how it's done, it's very easy. Also, be very careful when you put the garage doors in. If you do not put the code locks on first in the right sequence, you will lose the garage door above the actual ceiling. Again, keep watching for the build and I'll do it in stages to show you exactly how it's done. Now up here you see we've got the TC. People will say you can get the TC straight away from below. Yes you can, but the whole point of the base is to try and get them to work their way around it anyway, because they won't know where the TC is. So you're going to have to systematically go through different floors. Take the time and resources up. It's just the way it is. Remember, it's a compact base. You can't do anything other than spread stuff out in a compact base. It's not like a bunker where everything's condensed. You have to work with what you've got. Now, as I said, you may lay this out differently. I have done this as a solo player. You could have a duo in here. Above, I have got walls in places where they need to be. So if someone comes from above, they'd have to spend more. Yes, it's only stone, but if they're coming with rockets to go from above, let's face it, they're probably going to have enough stuff to get through anyway. With small compact bases, you can always expand out. With this one, just don't put any stairs at the front and you can just keep honeycombing and building up and just cocoon the central piece. This is simply for a player like me who only plays a couple of days of a wipe and just wants to actually play the game and run about and have a fun, really, not sit and farm for hours upon hours to try and keep upkeep for a base. Now the upkeep for this base is relatively cheap, so one day of farming and your TC is ready for the wipe really. So let's jump in. I'll show you how to do this from a starter base and again show you how to do the hidden loot room properly. Now this is just a suggestion of how to do the starter base for this. You may have a different idea of how you want to do it. You may hide a box and a rock and just take it from there. Now for this starter base, I've simply just put square, 2 triangles to give you an airlock. We're going to have a wooden wall, so bear that in mind as well. The roof will be left off for the most part of this just to let light in so you can see it. Key thing is we have an airlock, but again, as I said, this wall is going to be wooden. That can easily be taken down, so you really want to try and progress this space as quick as possible. Also plan out if you want to have your shop front in that side. If you do, then just put the double door frame in, use this door first, but you lose the airlock if you do. Now, as I said, this is very standard, very simple starter for this base. You'll put your TC down and we'll move it later. This is just to get you established and started. Obviously, put your key locks on, etc. Don't make it easy for them to get into your base and take it off you by just simply taking your TC. Now, when you have the resources, make sure you door everything up, get everything in place so you are secure. Now, I wouldn't recommend leaving this overnight unless you want to make that wood wall up to stone and pickaxe that wall out. But personally, I wouldn't do that. Just try and get enough resources to try and get the main footprint down and get this thing locked down. As I said, it's a very simple starter base. It's just to get you started, and I always try to incorporate one. If you're new to Rust, I'd highly recommend that building the rest of this in little parts. Do not take all your resources out and do it all in one go, because chances are on a busy server, someone will probably be passing, catch you and take all your resources from you. Simple as that. Do not allow that to happen, just do it progressively. Try to lose a little, if any at all. Now, as I said, there's a certain way to do the hidden loot room now. Have to have half walls at the back because we're going to use socket manipulation. I won't go into too much depth on how that works, but I'll show you quickly in this video how to get it to work for this loot room. Now, take your first floor piece, put it to the back, set it down, and you'll see the second one as I move left and right, it changes colour. Keep to the left, that will create the gap between the floor pieces we need to get the boxes accessible. Now, if you are a duo, you're going to want to make sure that your duo partner is on as well, because when you put these code locks on and lock them up, he will not be able to get into this area. So it's very important that you make sure he is definitely on as well. Once they're down, put the code locks in. The key to this is to try and get raiders to work through the floor. This is going to add potentially 8 rockets, depending on what they're raiding with. It could be satchel charges, etc. I'm not going to predict rockets, etc., because the situations are different in every single raid. A lot of people try and put rocket counts for their bases, but the truth is you don't know, because you don't know the state of the base prior to the raid taking place. Very hard one to call. Now, as you can see, I can easily get underneath the floor and open the boxes. This has worked because we've used the socket manipulation. If you use just a half wall in the middle and try doing it that way, the older way of doing it, it doesn't work all the time. It does still work, but I found in testing that it is not as reliable as doing it with the socket manipulation. This works 100% of the time that I've tested, apart from when I build on water for some reason. I don't know why, but it just doesn't seem to work at all. Maybe something to do with the textures of the water, not 100% sure. Once this is closed up, just to show you, even with that down, it doesn't change the socket manipulation, it stays exactly the same. You can still access the box quite easily. Now, as I said, a lot of people use this technique to get to second floors, so the idea is to try and make them think that this is just for that. Once that's done, you're going to take your double door frame, put it down. When the garage door or double door is closed, that will stop people from seeing down the gap as well. So again, they won't really know it's there. We'll just encapsulate the entire base now from the top floor, because you don't really need to get in. The reason why I'm doing this method of closing the back up, again, is to force them down a route, so they have to go through doors to actually get any further. The key for any base is to try and make them work as much as possible to get to loot and TC. If they have to keep going back and forward, chances are you'll come back online or someone will counter, and a lot of times when people counter, they don't even bother continuing the raid unless they think it's deep enough for them to take. Chances are they'll take stuff and raid the base target they've been looking for, or just keep resources for a later date and just get out of there straight away. As you can see, you can still get to the boxes even though we're building up. It can be tricky. You just have to find the right hit markers. As soon as you find it, you can get into it straight away. I'm just trying to show that regardless of what you build on this, it still lets you into the secret loot room. You can at some point see the code lock under the floor, so make sure you have the boxes unaligned for that not to take place. So moving on from there, this is fully secure. You can take the wood wall down now if you wish. For the final phase of this base, I'm going to do it in a way where you can get access and use of the first floor very quickly. All we're going to do is put full walls all the way around, leading from the garage door that comes up. This will allow you to encapsulate the base. Once you put the full walls down, we're then going to put half walls on top. That is for the honeycomb area above the base itself. It will also allow us to put the garage doors in without having to mess around going the roof if you mess up the placements. The key for this is to try and get you using the base fully very early on, but bear in mind, if you're a busy server, people see you doing this, they may have ladders. We all know Zergs carry ladders like you carry bandages, so they may have quite a lot. So try and make sure, again, you do it in stages, little bits at a time. Do the first row of walls, then do the half walls, then get up and do the roof piece. If you get caught, you're only going to lose a small amount rather than all the amount you've been farming for. Once it's all in place, make sure it's secure, but be very cautious that you're only stone, so people, you're 4 rockets and you're down. So you want to try and make sure that you're very quick in how you do it, and don't mess around by leaving some wood, some stone, because people will just come back with a flamethrower and take it out. Now, for the TC area, I would probably recommend moving the TC once this whole area is fully secured down and you've got the half walls on top. Simply because at the minute, as I said, before this is metal, you're just 2 stone, or maybe even 1, depending what stage you're at before you get to the TC. Yes, you're only 1 wall downstairs, but I would recommend metaling that area up as you're building the base to this stage anyway. Now, the garage doors, make sure you place them down and you can get the code locks on. Very important. This is why I've done it in this manner, because I'll show in a second. When you lock this area down, you sometimes can't get access to the code locks because you've opened the door by accident or it just doesn't click into place. What happens then is your garage door opens up into the honeycomb for the ceiling and you can't actually get to it. So make sure you do it in this stage. It stops that silly little mistake from happening. Not something you want, because you can see now, if you haven't put your code lock on and you've opened the door, you can't actually get the code lock on. Extremely annoying, pointless I know, but it is a thing in Rust. So make sure you lock all this down before you start actually sealing that last part of the roof. Just saves simple mistakes and you a lot of heartache having to potentially smash out a ceiling because you've missed the timer on being able to destroy it. So once it's down, get the code locks on, secure that area, then we can start building towards the time of moving the TC. If you're a duo, moving the TC is very easy because one can be downstairs breaking it out whilst the other one's ready to actually stick it in place. If you're solo, yes, it's going to be harder, so you're going to have to plan out how you do it a lot more than as a duo. Now, as we can see, this whole area now is semi-secure. From there, we're going to take all the doors that you need, put them in place. Again, make sure all areas are locked down, because once we lock this ceiling area down, we're not going to come back up here. It's completely done then. But before you do that, you're going to want to put the half walls in place. If you want to do the metal now, because you won't get the chance again. Again, it depends on resources you have, the time you're willing to spend on a server anyway. Again, this base is to try and get you to play the game rather than farm HQM all the time to keep upkeep. Lock it off and that is it done. I'm not going to metal all this base up yet. You can do that progressively yourself as and when you get the resources to do it. Now, as I said, TC, very easy if you're a duo. If you're solo, you're going to have to very much plan out how you do it. The loot room's upstairs, very straightforward. You may even want to put your workbench up here. It's your prerogative and how you set your base out. The main thing for this is having the loot room. Once that's secure, personally for me, I would then open that wooden wall, put down a garage door. Some people say garage doors are hard to get because of the gears. They're not. All you have to do is actually leave your base. Destroy your TC and then we'll move it upstairs. Now, solo player like me, I struggle with the jump up, and I'm going to show you now that even I struggle with it, and I've been playing Rust for nearly 3 years. but it can be done. So jump up into the window and just get onto the ledge, and you should be able to put down the TC. If you're not confident with jumping into it and you think it's too much of a nuisance, place a box down and do it that way instead. Or don't place the window frame until you've put the actual TC in place. I've always struggled with jumping through windows, don't know why, just have. Once it's down, lock it off and put your bulletproof window in front of it. Now your TC is above. Now, as I said, a lot of people will not think your TC is upstairs. This is an older method which stopped being put in use after some of the changes that came to Rust building. It used to be very common for TCs to be upstairs, but now not so much. So if anything, it's a bit of a surprise for them as well. Now when you're downstairs, where your TC was, make that into your drop area as you would. It's completely up to you how you do it. Put a bag down there, any boxes. For the honeycomb, it is extremely straightforward. Just put your triangle foundations all the way around, wall it up, and just build up from there. I'm not going to upgrade them all, I'm just going to show you in Twig because you don't have to be taught how to suck eggs. It's standard honeycomb. Make sure you put the middle floor pieces in as well. This just slows people down. It stops splash in a lot of cases. It means you have to spend more to open up all the back of the base or the front of the base. It's very, very simple way of making them spend more. People do get lazy and don't put them in. Honestly, I highly recommend doing it, especially when it's going to stop splash damage and potentially slow them down and give you a chance to either get back or come online, or even let counter raiders come and take them out instead. As I said, a lot of counter raiders won't even bother continuing the raid. They'll probably just take the stuff and get out of there, just to the fear of them coming back and taking the stuff off them. Now, as I said, if this is the type of bases you like, leave a like if you've got to this stage of the video. I also have a ton of other bases coming up. I've been working along the coast just to show you what this is like without the honeycomb. It is not very expensive. Take away the wood cost because it doesn't really matter. It's only 10k stone to build as we have now. Not a lot. Just to give you an idea, this is the base I'm working on at the minute. We've got all the way along this coastline. All got different little techniques and tricks in them as well. So guys, thanks for stopping by and I'll catch you in the next one.